Once again, we did it, my friends. 6 correct pickems in the challenger stage means that we're now ready to go into the legend stage, still with the hope of getting the diamond coin. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. I cannot promise you that we'll get a diamond coin. All I'm saying is that the last 2 times I've played this game, I've gotten the diamond coin. That's the only 2 times I've ever played the game. So I have a 100% track record. Now that could end here at the legend stage, because it's gonna be incredible close, but I'm gonna give it my best to make sure that you, me, and everyone out there who you share this video with gets the diamond coin. So let's get into it and let's have a look at it. As I said, this time around with the pickems, it's gonna be incredible tough to narrow it down to 8 teams that we want to progress from the legend stage, because there's so many quality teams. FaZe Clan, Na'Vi, NIP, ENCE, Danish Inspired, Sprout Esports, Heroic, Spirit, Team Liquid, Mouse, Bad News Eagles, Outsiders, Big, Furia, Fnatic, Vitality, and Cloud9. What we need to do is we need to get the diamond coin. So I'm gonna explain you my tactics straight away, because I saw a lot of you guys on the other video being like, after 2 hours, oh, you cost me a diamond coin. Oh no, we're not making it. Calm the down, my friends. I got it under control. Now, it would be obvious to do like that, sure, but that's a massive gamble. Na'Vi's gonna make it through no matter what, but it's not necessarily as a 3-0 team, which means that putting Na'Vi as a 3-0 is a major gamble. We don't want to do that. So we want to put Na'Vi down here, because I'm convinced, I'm certain that Na'Vi will make it to the playoff. I have no doubt that Na'Vi will make it to the playoff. I have no doubt that FaZe will find a way to make it to the playoff. But both of these lineup, especially with this major coming into it, can lose a game. They can lose a best of 1, which means that if they go 3-1, they won't get a point for being 3-0. So we gotta be smart about this, guys. You're listening to me, and I'm giving you my absolute best advice in order to get the diamond coin. Whether or not you want to follow it or not, up to you. But make no mistake, the brain is up here. Those 2 are givens, right? The 2 major finalists from the last time around, the 2 best teams in the world. They're the 2 favorites to win the entire major as well. But what I have said is that they're coming in and they've shown a bit of weakness. FaZe is not as good as they used to be. Na'Vi have been a little bit shaky. We haven't seen them play for quite some time. During Pro League, they weren't playing too well. But this is the major. This is when the big boys step up. Na'Vi, they're gonna be fine. They have Simple. He must be motivated. He's looking towards Shiro. He's looking towards Saivu. They're both playing some fantastic Counter-Strike. I think Simple is coming into this major. He wants to make a statement that he's still the best player in the world, which should motivate him enough, which should mean that Na'Vi is gonna be a secure spot for the playoff. No doubt about it. It's gonna be incredible interesting to see what the rest of the teams and what we can expect from the rest of the teams. Now, down here, we're gonna pick 7 teams that we think will advance. I'm already putting in FaZe Clan and Na'Vi, no doubt about it. As I said, it should be a given that they're making it. But as I also said, it's not a given they're going 3-0, especially considering the first round matchup as well. FaZe Clan is facing Cloud9. Last time around, they played Cloud9 won in a best of 1. That could be a problem for FaZe Clan. Na'Vi is facing Vitality in the very first game. That's also going to be tough. It's going to be very tough for Vitality. So, I have honestly no doubt. And when I'm looking at it, I don't want to put any of those 2 teams as a 3-0. Now, I have one team in mind, or a couple of teams in mind, that I think it could be the 3-0 candidates. I think Heroic has a relatively easy path in the first couple of games. When you look at the seeding, when you look at who they potentially face, depending on the results, Heroic could definitely go 2-0, which means they are in a 3-0 position. Heroic is most likely also going to make the playoff. I would be surprised if not, but I almost feel like Heroic is worth gambling as a 3-0 pick for now. They have an easier route to go 3-0 than FaZe Clan, than Na'Vi, and it's one of those teams that I feel like Heroic already in group stages, they're always tough to play. They're always one of those teams that always deliver at a very high level, so I wouldn't be surprised if Heroic is going to make it far in the group stage. I'm also looking at who they're facing in the first couple of games, and it's looking likely that Heroic could be a 3-0 team. Now, in terms of the 0-3, there's so many quality teams right here. So who on earth is going 0-3? That is a rough run. That is a rough run. We're divided into different categories. I don't think NIP is going 0-3. I don't think ENCE is going 0-3. I don't think Liquid is going 0-3. I don't think Mouse is going 0-3. I don't think Outsiders is going 0-3. I don't think Furia, Vitality, or Cloud9 will go 0-3. That leaves essentially for me only a couple of suggestions. Sprout could go 0-3. BNE could go 0-3. Big could go 0-3. I honestly would say that Fnatic is not going to go 3 either. It feels like it's between those, but we've seen BNE how well they played. They qualified as a as a team that went 3-0 in the Challenger stage, so it'd be kind of rough to put them as a 3-0 or 0-3. Sprout, they've looked good. They're looking like a decent team. I expect a lot from Sprout. Hard to put them as a 0-3. I almost feel like Big is my best guess, given they're playing with a standing, given they had a relatively, wouldn't call it an easy route to Legends, because nothing is easy. They've also played better than I expected, but they did get the gift of playing Greyhound in a 1-1 game. They are a team that has its limitations once the competition is as it is right now, but it's very hard for me to predict who necessarily is going to be an 0-3 team in this stage of the major. I'll have to think about it. I really have to think about it. Now, the massive problem when it comes to the 0-3 pick, as I said, there's only a couple of candidates, right? Is that some of those candidates are actually playing against each other in the first round matchups. You have Spirit taking on B&E, and you have Sprout taking on Big. Sprout being a candidate to go 0-3, Big being a candidate to go 0-3, B&E being a candidate, and then maybe perhaps Spirit. I think Spirit has a little bit too much quality to go 0-3, but who knows? That means that those are my candidates. All my candidates to go 0-3 are playing each other internally in the first round, which makes it incredible tough to predict who's not having the quality to make it further. I'm actually very curious to see if I'm gonna burn any matches right there. I think one of the safer picks could be perhaps to consider Fnatic. I think Fnatic is a quality team. I think Fnatic is a good team, but with the level of play they've shown us so far, Fnatic could go 0-3 as well. Their first round matchup is not easy. They're playing NIP, a team who I think is going to have a good major. In the second round, they could be playing Outsiders, could potentially face Fury as well in the rough stages. It's very tough for me to put the 0-3 team. I'm gonna let that brew for a couple of seconds, and I think you guys as well would like to really consider hard who to put down there, because the easy choice in Sprout, in B&E, and Big and Fnatic and Outside, like they're all playing relatively easy matchups or playing against each other internally in the first round, which means that the 0-3 pick could be out of the way as soon as we progress. Now, in terms of who I think will advance, as said, FaZe Clan Na'Vi, I think that's more or less a given. I think Liquid would be my third choice. I think Liquid is coming into this major and should be coming into this major in a great shape. They've been looking good. They looked great during Pro League. They were in the final against Vitality with Jekindar on the lineup, with Elise. There's just for my money, there's too much quality on Team Liquid for them not to make it to the next stage at the major. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So much quality within Team Liquid. So I expect them. I truly expect them to make it the next stage of the major. I would say that NIP is a team that I also suspect and I expect to make the next stage of the major. I really believe a lot in this new constellation of Alexi B being an in-game leader and Hampus being freed up as a rifle. The main question mark I have, the main problem I have with NIP is S-Attack on a rifle. That's a good thing now. That's a positive step. But Res now taking over the AWP role from S-Attack. Res is a God's gifted rifle. So you're taking away a lot of firepower and you're putting him on an AWP, which we saw at Pro League was okay, but Res is one of those difference makers with the rifle, and S-Attack is more the supportive element, and S-Attack is going to do fine in his role, no doubt, but for Res to be on an AWP, that's like the one problem. You see Res going up against Simple, you see Res going up against FaZe, you see Res going up against OC or Cadian for that matter. I don't see Res as the better AWPer than any of these teams, and that is the one question mark. That is the one reason I will doubt a little bit in NIP, but I'm going to put them down here for now. Other teams who can progress, other teams who are good enough to progress. I think ENCE is a bit of a dark horse in some ways. I think Mouse played some stellar Counter-Strike during the Legend stage, during the Challenger stage. B&E did the same, but no, I don't think B&E is going to make Legends. Like the quality of teams coming in now, the best of threes they have to win in order to get here as well. With all the respect, they had to beat Gamer Legion. They had to beat Gamer Legion in order to become a Legends team. They did beat Gamer Legion, but Gamer Legion didn't even make it this stage. So if you're being completely realistic about B&E, they beat a weak 0-0 Nation. They beat Gamer Legion 2-0 as well, and they beat Big with a stand-in. B&E haven't beaten a quality team yet. And that's my issue right here. The reason why I'm not putting them as an 0-3 team is that they're facing Spirit in the very first game, and they could beat Spirit. There's nothing that suggests to me that B&E won't beat Spirit. So having them as an 0-3 team is very... It's very tough for me, to be honest. Who else can make it through? Who else have the quality to make it through? Vitality, it'll be obvious to say Vitality, it'll be obvious to say Cloud9. Cloud9 didn't look good at all during Legend States. They were struggling massively to get through. Shiro is playing some of the best Counter-Strike we've ever seen Shiro play. Vitality is struggling massively as well. I do feel Vitality would be one of those teams that perform better against quality opponents though. I think when Vitality are facing teams like INS, teams like Mouse, Liquid, for that matter NIP as well, like it feels like Vitality will have another level to give off. So not to put Vitality through would be rough. The thing with Vitality is that they're the second lowest seeded team, so their road, their way to qualify is going to be tough no matter what. There's no easy route. I am really struggling. I have no doubt this is the hardest major pickems video I'm ever going to do in my life. I believe in Cloud9. I believe that they're going to find a way to turn it around. I believe Exile started to show up. I believe Shiro is playing some fantastic Counter-Strike. I believe in Cloud9 being a team that can turn it around. Cloud9's way as well is going to be incredible tough because they're the lowest seeded team. Vitality as well. You just want to put all the favorites down here. You don't think any of these guys coming in can make it? I think it's tough. For my 0-3 pick, as I said, the candidates for that, Sprout, Spirit, BNE, perhaps Fnatic, Big, they all play each other internally. The only team that's not playing each other internally right here would be Fnatic. Fnatic going up against NIP in their first game. Now I expect NIP to win that game. I expect NIP to beat Fnatic. So if I were to be honest with you, the wise move probably would be to put Fnatic here, because that should be keeping it alive for a little longer. Fnatic is also 14th seeded, so they will be one of the teams that is getting a rough route in the second game. If all the results are going up, you know, as you'd expect them to be, they'll face outsiders, Fnatic outsiders in a best of one that can go both ways. Outsiders looking stronger and stronger, I'd say, in the tournament. So I'm debating with myself to put BNE in here. They have Spirit in the first game. If they lose that, second game could be against Vitality. Third game could, according to seed, be against Cloud9. Like it's going to be so tough for BNE to make it through against these Legend teams. I feel down here, I feel Mouse have played good enough. I feel like Mouse have played good enough in order to make it to the playoff, but I'm not sure if I'm willing to put them in there. Furia with the home crowd. Another thing to consider is that they're now used to it, right? Fnatic, Furia, all the teams coming from the challenger stage, they've been there. They've been inside the arena. The rest of the guys, they have to once again figure that out. I have to make a decision. I have to make some decisions. Listen, I'm gonna listen to my my reasoning right here. Fnatic being the 0-3 pick because they will have a harder route, and they're not playing each other internally. It'll be too much of a gamble to put Sprout, BNE, Big in there. Even though I think Big have a higher chance of going 0-3, to be completely honest. Big have a very high chance of going 0-3. I don't think Big is gonna beat Sprout. I don't think Big is going to beat Sprout. I think Sprout will beat Big. And once Sprout will beat Big, Big will only face tough opposition. Fuck it, I'm going with Big. Based on the fact they're playing with a stand. I think they played okay during the group stage, during the challenger stage. Tapston, Sisson, so much quality, but nah. With the route they're going to have, they're going to be my 0-3 pick. That leaves 2 spots open. And the teams I'm considering for those 2 spots would be INS as a dark horse, Mouse as a dark horse, Outsiders, Furia, and Vitality. I feel those are the 4 teams that I trust in. I don't think BNE is going to make it through the Legend stage. They're not going to make it through the playoff. I would be super surprised if they do. And Godspeed to them if they can. I don't think they will. Sprout, they look so good during the RMR, but this is a different level. This is now the major Legend stage. A different kind of pressure. Spirit, they could be an outsider, man. Mouse, they played well. They played super solid during the challenger stage. Outsiders, a team that's only getting better and better. Vitality, Furia, can you leave Vitality out of it? Do you really believe Vitality won't make the playoff? You see how much I'm struggling? I'm sorry. INS, Furia is playing each other in the first game as well. I'm gonna put INS in there. INS is in there. That leaves only 1 spot for Vitality, Furia, and Mouse. INS is a good team. Some players is off getting better and better. Snappy's always coming in well prepared. Do you have Madden? There's a lot of quality within it. It's a slightly underrated team, to be completely honest. And they're seeded 4th in this whole seeding system for whatever reason, and that's gonna give them a relatively easy route. To have Furia in the first game though, that could be tough. Not gonna lie. For the last team, who's gonna make it? Will the home crowd carry Furia? Will Saivu? Can I really say that Saivu won't make it? The problem for Vitality is they have a horrible seed. First round matchup, they're facing Na'Vi. In the second round, they could be facing Spirit. It's just going to be no easy games for Vitality throughout this entire stage. Oh, I never struggled this much. Okay, I'm going to have to take a decision. I'm going to have to gamble a little bit, I guess. The easy thing would be to put down Vitality and Cloud9. Believe in the favorites. Furia, I honestly don't think Furia has it right now. I'm sorry. They didn't convince me. They didn't convince me throughout the challenger stage, even though they should be in the best shape of their life, even though they should be super eager in order to do well. Right? Outsiders is very annoying. Listen, Outsiders have a chance, but who the hell do I replace with Outsiders? Do I say that Vitality have shown us enough they're not good enough? But they have Cyber. I'm gonna do it like this. This would be my pickems. This is the way to get the diamond coin. Mark my words, I've never been more in doubt, but this has to be it. Heroic as a 3-0, they have a relatively good seeding. They have a relatively easy path if they win the games they're supposed to win. It's a bit of a gamble, but it is what it is. There's a high likelihood that Ins and Heroic will play in a 2-0 game. They could be playing in a 2-0 game. Ins playing Fury in the first round though. Heroic playing Outsiders. But yeah, nah, listen. I think this looks good. FaZe, Na'Vi, Heroic, NIP. I feel like those three are guaranteed. I feel like they will make playoff. They have quality to make playoff. And then we just need 2 of these teams to not shit the bed. Outsiders being the gamble. Liquid should be there. NIP, I have high hopes for NIP. Vitality, fuck it, we're gonna do it like this, boys. This is gonna be the pickems. This is how you get your diamond coin. That is it. I've said it, and I meant it from the bottom of my heart. I don't think I have ever been more in doubt than I am right now when it comes to the pickems. These are gonna be the pickems. These are the pickems. I locked them in, but my god, are they gonna be tough. Fuck. Well, best of luck, guys, getting the diamond coin. We're going for it 3 times in a row.